Good day, good morning, everyone. Good morning to YouTube, everyone. I hope you all had a great weekend. I hope you all are enjoying yourself. This is going to be a questions and answers video as usual. This is number 6, I believe. And as usual, I'm going to read the questions, and you're going to be able to see them at the bottom of the screen, so you can follow along with the question. And yeah. But before I do that, I'm going to read my Patreons because I sometimes tend to forget that by the time I finish the video. So let me go ahead and read my Patreons. So we have Steve KNAPPER. He contributed $5 to my Patreon. We have VISHU VICENTA contributed $1. Ryan AWKARD contributed $5. Daniel PENDERGRAFT contributed $5. MCVEETY contributed $5. Ryan Ford contributed $1. Miss Martin contributed $5. Michael BRIGOLA contributed $5. And TREVOR McVitie contributed $1. So those are my Patreons. That's part of the perk. I will mention them in the video and also put them in the description area. So those names will be there for you. What else? Yeah, that is it. Without further ado, let's get to these questions and answers. Our first question is by Pinche Joseph. He says, "Hey Laoshu, what's going on, bro? I'm a fan. I'm a big fan and long-time supporter. I had a couple of questions for you for your next question and answer video. Do you have any tips for language learners who are learning similar languages like Romance languages, for example, Spanish and Italian? 2, do you have any tips for learning kanji, and how many kanji do you know?" All right, so thanks a lot for the question, Joseph. Appreciate it. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for being a constant supporter and contributor to my page. But yeah, Romance languages, well, languages that are similar in general. In my experience, I would say I try to learn Spanish and Portuguese at the same time, and I had a lot of problems because the languages are very similar. So I ended up stopping and focused. I think I was doing Spanish and Portuguese, but then I dropped Portuguese and focused more on Spanish, since that's more common here in the United States. So I would say, like, if you want to learn something like that, Spanish or Portuguese, I would just focus on one, get really comfortable in the other one, and then you can start the other one. It's really difficult. I wouldn't say that it's impossible, but it's very difficult to try to do those two languages at the same time. They're so similar. You want to mix up so much vocabulary. It's a nightmare. So I would just focus on one. Once you get comfortable in that other one, then you can go start the other one. That's what I would do. That's my advice. Kanji, do I have any tips on learning kanji? First of all, I don't know how many kanjis I know. Kanji, Chinese characters, I know a lot. I don't know the exact number, but I know a lot. And there's also a lot that I don't know. Obviously, characters that I don't like, stuff that you will use in the professional field or whatever. I don't really know those characters. I mean, I can figure out the meaning because I can read a lot already. I can pretty much guess the meaning of characters that I haven't seen before. But I would say I know at least I know the really common characters, the ones that people use on a daily basis. I know those, but I don't know the exact number. But my advice on learning kanji, because when I first started learning the Chinese characters, I try to learn them isolated. I had papers. I had papers like these, just all over the paper. I was just copying one character over and over and over and over. That's what I was doing. And I was doing like 15. I said, okay, I'm going to do like 15 or 20 characters a day. I tried that method and it didn't work for me because it seemed like I wasn't learning enough characters rapidly. So I just started learning them from context. I found it to be funner and I found it to be more useful. Now, the context, some of the characters you probably won't use, but for the most part, there's a lot that you will learn. Then it's the repetition. Like if you see it again in another context, you'll be able to remember the character rather than, having to go back and write that character out, hundreds of times, I mean, that's repetition. That's repetition in itself. But when it's in a context like that, it's something about that that helps you to remember. Sorry for that noise. It's something about that that helps you to remember that vocabulary word. So I would say try to just learn through context, dialogues, write out the dialogues. That's what I would do. You can use Teach Yourself, Colloquial, or any type of book that has dialogues, regular conversations. And, some of them, most of them are short, but if you can write them out, do that on a daily basis, that will actually help you to learn more words, not only words, but characters. So that's my advice. That's what I would do. So, if anybody else has any better advice, then feel free to comment in the comment section, reply to our friend here, Joseph. Next question. Thanks again for your question. Appreciate it. Next question is by Stormy. Hey Moses, what are your thoughts on what order someone should learn languages in regards to someone that has plans on learning many languages? For example, if someone just finished learning Russian, should they move on to another Slavic language like Czech, or should they move over to something like Korean? In other words, would building a foundation in multiple language types first be better than learning many of the same languages type? Many of the same language type first. All right. Thanks a lot for your question, Stormy. Appreciate it. I remember reading this. So a lot of people, I think it's smart. First of all, if you stay in one family, because if you stay in one family and once you learn one of those languages in that family, it's really easy to learn the other one. So that's really, if you want to like say, oh, I'm going to do Slavic languages, I want to get a good grasp on Slavic languages, then I'll go try some Germanic languages. I'll go try some Romance languages. A lot of people do that. And that's, again, that's a smart choice because, like I said, it's easy to learn the other ones once you learn. Like, for example, if you learn Russian, if you got a good grasp on Russian, then when you go do something like Czech or Ukrainian, Polish or something like that, it's going to be really easy. You still you're still going to have to put the work in, obviously, to learn that language because you got to get used to the pronunciation, accent, and whatnot. But for the most part, the grammar is the same, and they all use the case system. So once you get a good grasp of that and understand how the case, I got to stop doing that because this chair is making too much noise. I'm sorry. Once you get a good grasp of that and you understand how the cases work, once you start learning another language like Polish, it's not gonna seem difficult because you've already experienced that. It's just like if you go over to the, learn Chinese, Mandarin, okay, and then you jump to Cantonese and you learn Japanese. I mean, they are different languages, but they use that writing system. Once you get a basic concept, understand, you have some experience with that, then it's going to be pretty easy to learn the other languages. So it really is a matter of preference. I'm not sure what languages you are interested in, but if you like Russian language, if you like Slavic languages, I would say just stick in that family and just learn all those Slavic languages because, like I said, it's going to be easy to learn the other ones. So I can't. So that's what I would do if I had if I'm more enticed by those languages spoken in those Slavic areas, I would just focus on those languages. I would just focus on those and get a good grasp on them, and hell, maybe later on I'll form an interest in, I don't know, like Romance languages, and I'll do the same thing. For me, it wasn't like that. I've just been jumping around different families, and that was really, I didn't plan that, but it's just like the languages that I was interested in, they just happened to be in different families. So that's why I was jumping around and doing all these other different languages. So yeah, that's what I would do. Just whatever languages that you have more passion for, just kind of focus on those. And it's really that simple. Thanks again for your question, Stormy. I appreciate it. Appreciate your question. Next question, Alchemy Child, Tim Popo. What level does FLR2 get you to? B1? Okay, good question. Thanks for posing this question. Yeah, if you, I'll just go up to starting from, I'll start from level 1 and go to level 2. So if you start with level 1, okay, if you go through the whole course, do everything you're supposed to do, and when I say everything, I mean practicing with the natives like you're supposed to, that whole experience with level 1, that's going to take you to A2 level. That's guaranteed in a level 1 course. Now the level 2 course will take you to, I would say like a high B1 going into B2. That's what I would say. I would say like, yeah, I would say in between like a B1 and B2 level. That's what level 2 will take you to. But you got to put in the work. You know, you got to be practicing a lot. Yeah, so a little higher than B1, level 2 will take you to. So there's like in between. It's like a light B2 level at the end of level 2. That's where you will be. Thanks for the question. I appreciate it. Depe. Question. Leho Moses. I really like your videos. Keep them up. Just a short answer. I really like Arabic because 2 years ago I've been in the USA and met a ton of Saudis, etc. Since then, I really wanted to learn that language. You seem to speak Arabic. Can you tell me what books you used or are still using? Also, there are a lot of different dialects of Arabic. Do you know which dialect is the best to learn? Because I read that the Arabic Saudis use is very hard to understand for people from different Arabic countries. I also read that Egyptian is the most understandable. I want to learn a dialect I can use anywhere. Okay, Depe, welcome to my channel. Great question. Appreciate it. So where can I start? This is a long question here. So I'll start with Arabic. When I started learning Arabic, I started with Egyptian. And then when I learned more about Arabic, I learned that there was an MSA, which is a standard spoken, because I didn't really understand when I first started learning Arabic. I thought Arabic was Arabic. And I just went to a bookstore and bought this phrase book, okay? It didn't say Egyptian Arabic, it just said Arabic on it. I bought that with the cassette, and I was learning the phrases on there, and I was using them. I would go to the Arab stores, and I would use them. And then those Arabs, a lot of them, they were laughing at me, you know, not making fun of me, but they just thought it was funny that I was learning like Egyptian. They say, oh, you were Egyptian or something like that. And then they were laughing. And I was like, what do you mean Egyptian? I didn't understand what they meant because I had no idea that was like the Egyptian accent. So I was doing that. Then later on, someone told me that there's a standard version, like an Arabic MSA. That's the modern standard Arabic that everybody can understand, that you can use pretty much everywhere. The only problem with that is that not everybody speaks that language. They can understand, but they don't speak that. So if you walk on the street somewhere, you can't use MSA. Well, you can, but you're not going to get anybody responding to you unless you're like in a formal setting. You're in a school, you can go to a masjid somewhere, but the MSA is not going to be used in those type of situations. You know, again, like if you're in the street, you go to a restaurant or whatever. Maybe some restaurants. You asked me which is the best to learn. This is something that depends on you and where you are geographically. Now, since you at the beginning of your question, you said, what did you say? I really like Arabic. You said, I really like Arabic because 2 years ago, I've been in the USA and met a ton of Saudis, etc. Since then, I really want to learn that language. Now, see, right there, you say you met a ton of Saudis. If you keep meeting those Saudis, then learn their dialect. It only makes sense. If you're not meeting people from Syria, from Egypt, you know, although Egypt is that's probably the most widely understood dialect, that and Syrian. But if you keep meeting those people from Saudi Arabia, it only makes sense for you to learn that dialect. If you move somewhere differently and you starting to meet people from different areas, then you learn their dialect. Like I said, you can learn modern standard, but if you want to try to talk with people and try to get a response, have a conversation, MSA is not the way to go because it's not going to happen. If you're going to street, anybody can tell you that. You know, this is not my opinion. This is just how it is. And even in my experience, when I was trying to talk, like use MSA with people, they like a lot of times they understood what I was saying, but they wouldn't respond. They were like, they would say, make comments like, "Oh, you sound like my teacher," or something like that. So you have to, unfortunately, you have to learn dialects when you learn Arabic if you want to talk with people. So again, you have to look at your area where you live at. If you keep meeting people from Saudi Arabia, do some research on that language and see what books that you can get, what programs and whatnot, and then you can start from there. But you have to make sure you have those people around whom you could practice with. That's very important. So yeah. So again, if you're in an area where a lot of Saudi people from Saudi Arabia, then do your research on Saudi Arabia and see what books that you can use for that language. Now, I don't know anything about that dialect, so I couldn't recommend you any books. I think they have. I saw some Teach Yourself. I saw some. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff for Arabic, especially for dialect. So again, just do your research and see where those people are from, and then that's where you can decide on which dialect you want to learn. So wish you the best on that. Good luck. And thanks again for your question. I appreciate it. Next question, Blake Johnson. Where did you get that cool Polska flag? That's that cool Polska flag right here. Serious. Wierni, czerwony, tylko Polska. Zawsze biało. This, if you talking about this, obviously you talking about this. I got this from my Polish buddy. This guy I meet with every day on Skype to practice Polish. I got that from him. He sent that to me like a month ago. Because he has, when I meet with him, I can see he has like something like that hanging up on his back wall. And I said, oh, that's cool. And he said, oh, I can send you one. And he gave my address and he sent it to me. So yeah, cool. I'm gonna get some more though. I like those. And you can see my finished flag right here. I'm gonna get another one of these and put it over here. And I'm gonna see what else I can find for this for finish. So yes, sir. Thanks for your question, Blake. It's Ahmed. Okay. Hey Lao Shu, I'm learning Mandarin and struggling to find good resources. I've done Pimsleur and a course called Mastering Chinese by Palgrave Macmillan, which was quite good, but I don't know what to do next. FSI isn't very user friendly, and I don't have native Mandarin speakers to practice with because most Chinese people here in the UK speak Cantonese. What resources would you recommend? I've never used Asimil because it's too darn expensive. I don't know how anyone can afford it. I don't know how anyone can afford it. Teach yourself is good, but its grammatical notes tend to be all over the place, and I really want to start focusing on learning grammar, focusing on learning grammar now. Okay, thanks a lot for your question, Issa. Some of these courses I've never heard of, like mastering. Maybe I heard of Mastering Chinese. Yeah. I don't know what your level is. I don't know if you're a complete beginner. I've always talked about this, but I don't know. To each his own. If you want to do grammar, what you say here, I'm not going to try to steer you away from that because obviously that's something that you're interested in doing. You say that you really want to start focusing on grammar now. If you want to do that, Teach Yourself is, I don't know why you say that the grammar is all over the place. They seem to have Teach Yourself have a good, they have the grammar laid out pretty good. And it's like every chapter is different. But they have a lot of grammar books for Chinese. Teach Yourself, Colloquial, any grammar book that you can like just do. Oh, I'm sorry. Do a search. Do like a search Chinese grammar, and I'm pretty sure you can find some good stuff on that grammar. I mean, Chinese Mandarin is quite a popular language, so you shouldn't have a problem with finding resources for that. Asimil, I wouldn't even recommend getting Asimil for that, for what you're trying to do, because they don't really focus too much on grammar. They do have some notes on grammar, but I think Teach Yourself is better in that regards. Teach Yourself and Colloquial. So yeah, you're right. Asimil is expensive. I spent thousands of dollars on Asimil. I spent a lot of money on that, and yeah, it's pricey, but I like it. It's to me at least, it's worth it for the type of way that I learned the language. But yeah, just do like a search on grammar, Chinese grammar, see what you can find. But they have plenty of resources out there. Teach yourself. I'm kind of surprised, like, because teach yourself, like I said, teach yourself is good. I have teach yourself, and it's good when it comes to grammar. They explain grammar pretty well there. So if you don't like that, then just do a search on what you can find. What else here you ask? Most people here. Yeah. So that's what I can recommend you do. Just do a search on grammar books for Mandarin. I appreciate your question, and I wish you the best of luck. Next question, Hamako. Hey Moses, you being a student of Slavic languages, have you removed kebab? What is your opinion on removing kebab? What is the best method to remove kebab? I don't really understand kebab. I'm really sorry. I'm not sure what you mean by kebab. I hope you see this video. I want you to explain to me what you mean by kebab. Yeah, please explain to me what you mean, or anyone that understands what this person means by kebab, explain to me, and I would do a quick response. Well, better yet, I will probably put this question will be put in the next questions video again, and so I can answer. But I don't understand what you mean by kebab. I really do apologize for that. Last question. This is by Alan. Hi, I'm Alan. Good video as usual. I have a question. When learning a language, what are your tips to stop procrastination? Thanks for the videos, Moses. Procrastination. Yeah, this is definitely something that a lot of people struggle with. We all procrastinate, even me. I mean, I'm very diligent, especially when it comes to languages or anything that I'm passionate for that I want to do. I'm pretty diligent, but sometimes there's going to be procrastination because things get in the way, life gets in the way. I would say like for me, I'm pretty good on avoiding procrastination, especially when it comes to my language studies and other things. I know that I have to do certain things. That's why I have a schedule. And I know if I follow that schedule, I do everything on that schedule right, I can be done with the day and not have to worry about it. I think the best thing to do is just make sure you have a schedule and stick to that schedule. Write a schedule out, and then when you get up, if you get up early in the morning, the first thing you do, look at that schedule and say, okay, I got to do this. Let me eat my food, and then after I eat my food, I'm gonna do this, and just get it out the way. That's the best thing to do, because if you thinking, oh, it's the morning, I got all day, and see, that's the worst thing you can do. You get up, you eat your food, and then you thinking that since it's the morning, you have all day, you have the rest of the day to finish it or whatever it is you're trying to do. But then you come to find out, you look up, it's 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock p.m. You're like, man, I didn't even get around to that. It's better to just get it out the way as soon as you get up in the morning. Now, if you work, that's different. But you can still kind of, there are some certain things you can do, even if you have to work, like on the commute, you can do listening and stuff. You can kind of knock that stuff down. At least you working on it. But I would recommend in the morning, get it out the way so you can be done with it, you know. Thanks a lot for your question, Alan. I appreciate it. So those are the questions for this week. If you have any questions, if you want to see your question in the next video, please post them in this video, and we'll get to that. We'll answer them. Now, again, that person that was talking about kebab, anybody that understands that, please explain to me what that person means, and I will explain that. I will explain it in the next question video. So that is it. That is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your week. And again, if you have any questions, just post them in the bottom in the comment section, and we'll get those prepared for the next video. So that is it. Thanks a lot to my Patreons again. I mentioned them at the beginning of the video. I'll mention them again. We have Steve KNAPPER. Let me see. Steve KNAPPER, VISHU, VICENTA, Ryan AWKARD, Daniel PENDERGRAFT, MCTcurious, Ryan Ford, MC Martin, Michael Bridges, and Trevor McVitie. I appreciate you guys. I really do. If you guys are unfamiliar with Patreon, just do like a search. Do a search on that, and you can read up on that. It's basically just a like a donations thing to kind of support like artists and people like me making these type of videos. They have a lot of information on that. You guys can look into that. But yeah, that is it for this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions again, and you guys have a great one. Enjoy the rest of your week. Peace out. Take care. Be happy. Always be happy. Enjoy life. All right, I'm out of here.